Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. It's one of the most popular investments, but I just don't get it. Also,
I feel like we're living the dream except for everything, except for like with our finances.
the truth is, it doesn't feel like you're living the dream. It feels like you're living a nightmare. And you ask me, can I afford it?
This health club in the city, I was shopping and I walked in and it's like paradise.
$185 a month?
Yes.
A month. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching The Suze Orman Show. Tonight, I want to talk to you about something I just don't get. I just don't get it at all. And what is that? So many of you, whenever you see me, whether I'm giving a talk or whatever, you always ask me about, is real estate a good investment? You really want to invest in real estate. Now, I'm not talking about buying a home that you're going to live in. I am talking about real estate as an investment. And I personally don't get real estate as an investment. And let me tell you why. When you buy a piece of real estate, there are costs for you to keep that real estate as an investment. You have property taxes, you have insurance, you have maintenance, you have all kinds of things. When you go to sell it, there's a time period. Maybe people won't even want to buy it. You have to pay somebody to sell it for you. There's so much money that you have to put into real estate. Would you not have just been better off doing what I do? I like to be paid for my investments, but I don't want to have to put out any money whatsoever. If I buy a stock that gives me a good high yield of a dividend that's safe, I'm holding the stock and I'm getting paid that dividend no matter what. There's no cost for me to hold the stock. It's not like I have to have maintenance on it or property taxes. I just own it. Hey, if I want to sell it, I could sell it like that. It's not going to be a big deal for me to sell it. There are so many advantages, in my opinion, when you're looking at investments for either stocks, for bonds, whatever it may be. But real estate as an investment, I hope you all think twice about it, because for me, I just don't get it. We are going to Texas. Paula, ask me your question tonight.
Hi. I'm expecting a $150,000 inheritance, and my husband and I are having a disagreement on how best to spend it. I want to pay off our debts and save the rest for our retirement, but he wants to invest it in real estate rental properties. Right now, we have no savings, we have no retirement, we have no pension, no life insurance, and we owe about $100,000 in credit cards.
And
now,
Paula,
we're struggling.
Yeah, let's talk about what's really most important here. This is your inheritance from who?
From my mother, who passed away 2 years ago.
And while your mother was alive, she obviously saw her daughter struggling financially, because this is not debt that just came in the past 2 years,
Right.
correct? Right. And when your mother would sit with you and talk to you, what kind of things would she say to you? Did she ever say, honey, if I leave you money, please use it, keep it safe and sound, get yourself out of trouble? What kind of things did she say to you, if any?
She kind of didn't involve herself too much in my situation. She kind of left it to my husband. I don't mean left the money. I mean she left decisions, because she kind of comes from the old school where, you know, the husband kind of ran things. And so she always said, oh, I'm not worried about you. Your husband will always make money somehow.
But the truth of the matter is your husband's not making money. He's not being wise with money. That the reason that you have this debt, you never had this kind of debt before you had that husband. Is that correct?
That is so correct.
That is so correct.
I had 820 credit score before
So you were doing just fine on your own. And then you get married. And now we have somebody who wants to do this and to do that and spends all your money. And here you are at what age? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 43, but he already forced me to close out my 401k, so now I don't even have that.
No, he did not force you to close your 401k. You chose to let him rule the roost.
So I chose peace over divorce.
All right, and if we were to then wind back this clock of time, given that he threatened divorce unless you ruined your own retirement? Do you wish you had let him divorce you now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, now, let's not make that mistake anymore. You're going to take this money, and I'm not even sure that I want you to pay off your debt. I want you to keep it in your name and your name alone. You can always claim bankruptcy on the debt. You can always do anything that you want. If I were you, I would keep this money safe and sound, and I would never listen to one more thing that he wants to do with money, especially since he threatened you with a divorce. Do yourself a favor. Give him exactly what he wanted. Listen to me, everybody. It is very, very important that you understand that when you get an inheritance, as long as you keep it in your individual name, nobody can ever take that money away from you. If you get an inheritance and put it in a joint account with your name, your spouse's name, your name, and anybody else's name, then that money becomes joint property between the people whose names are on the account. So I am asking all of you, regardless of the situation, when you get money via an inheritance, somebody has left you money, can you just keep it in your individual name and never, ever, ever put anybody else's name on it whatsoever? Do you hear me? We are going to Texas. Brenda, ask me your question.
Okay, Susie, this is from a fool. My husband and I co-signed for our grandson for his college loans.
Yep.
He is about to graduate, and he has no job in sight, and I know that he has 6 months before he has to start making payments. His loan, I have added them all up, $169,000.
Wait, let me just get this right.
Okay.
Are you telling me that you and your husband both co-signed $169,000 of student loans for your grandchild?
Over 5 years, yes.
Over 5 years. And are these private student loans?
CAL is, I guess, considered a private student loan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. So you didn't do Parent Plus loans. You did, the majority of them were private student loans.
Right, one was from a bank.
Yeah, where the interest rate can go up to anything they want to take you. Okay.
It's locked into 5.25%.
Forever?
Yeah.
All right, let's hope that's true. I just have to ask this question as well. If your grandson, God forbid, I don't want this to happen, but if your grandson were to die, do you still owe the payments on that private student loan for him?
No.
You're positive of that, right?
In my research, yes.
All right, because many private student loans, you still owe the money. So make sure that the private student loans that you have, you don't owe the money. But go on, ask me your question.
Okay. I've researched, I've gone in and checked, and I have found out how much a month for his Cal loans and how much a month for his one bank college loan.
Yes.
And it comes up to like $1,100 a month. I was asked by your assistant, could we make that if our grandson couldn't? And my answer is yes, we could, but all we would be doing is existing.
When you first did this, did your grandson say to you, Granny, don't worry, I am going to be making these payments, or did you not ask and you just went ahead and did this on your own?
No, we discussed it. Actually, his first year, I paid cash for it.
All right.
Then he, instead of graduating in 4, he graduated in 5. So that meant 4 loans. Anyway,
but was it your understanding that he would be making the payments on these loans?
At the time, what we agreed to was we would make a third, he would make a third, and his parents would make a third, and his parents are out of the picture.
And is his parents out of the picture because they don't have any money at all?
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Do you own a home?
Yes.
Do you have equity in the home?
Yes, it's paid off.
It's paid off. You are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I think it's a far better way for you to do this. Okay. Is that if you refinanced your home and you took out a mortgage on your home, of $169,000, your payments would go down dramatically and they would be a tax write-off to you, correct?
Correct.
At that point, it is possible that your grandson could eventually make the payments to make the payment on your home. I think that is a far better way for you to go than getting yourself into all of these situations where you're just going to have to keep making these payments and they aren't tax deductible and they are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. If I were in your situation, I would literally be refinancing my home, paying off the student loans, do a 30-year mortgage, believe it or not, the payments will not be that much, get a fixed rate mortgage, and my grandson would be responsible for paying it to me, and then I would be paying the mortgage. That's how I would do it.
The plan was to put the equity into the home and then to sell the home.
Selling the house is not the answer to this problem. It allows you, Will, to continue to live in La La Land. And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
We were on to purchase a 2015 diesel pusher RV for about $200,000.
Look at that, $200,000. That is more money than some people spend on a home. We're back with a couple at a financial crossroads. Will and Jessica are here from Philadelphia. They're both 31 and have two children, ages 5 and 1. Jessica is an RN and works per diem at a local hospital. Will has been out of work since his father's construction company went under a year and a half ago. His unemployment ran out at the end of last year, so needless to say, it's been a difficult time. They're living at an $1,800 a month deficit every single month. The only money they have is $3,000 in an emergency fund and $3,500 in a 529 plan. They have almost $150,000 of consumer debt, consisting mostly of student loans, plus $14,000 of credit card debt and a bit of medical debt. The only money they have really is equity in their South Jersey house. Well, Will and Jessica, number one, thanks for coming on the Suze Orman Show, because when you're in a situation like this, it takes a lot of courage to say to everybody, here's what I got nothing. So I know, Will, you wrote in, but I want to hear from Jessica to begin with. Her thoughts on all of this. Like, just tell me, where are you, Jessica? And because before we started tonight, I was watching the two of you on prompter. I have a little prompter right there where I can see you. And you started to cry right before we went on air. Can you tell me what those tears were about?
It's just, it's really an emotional thing. Like, I feel as though we have a great relationship, we have a wonderful family, and it's, you know, knowing that we have like these problems right now with our money, I feel like we're living the dream except for like with our finances. And it's really emotional every time we talk about it. It's so much pressure. And I just, you know, that's why we came here tonight, to like, you know, get some help and get some answers.
Yeah. And
I just feel like it's overwhelming.
So the truth is, it doesn't feel like you're living the dream. It feels like you're living a nightmare. Would you say that's more accurate?
Yeah,
so.
I mean, financially, yes, yeah.
And did this financial nightmare start, truthfully, when you stopped working for your father? Like, when you were working for your father in construction, was everything okay? Did you have any debt? Did you have more money in an emergency fund? Tell me a little bit about your life when you were actually working.
Okay, so when I was working, the credit card bills would be paid every month, and we didn't have the credit card debt, and we didn't have any savings, should I say, so no, it wasn't that much better. Being out of work last year, on unemployment, I did take out some money for a home equity loan that I ended up working on my house and raising the equity in that to, the plan was to put the equity into the home and then to sell the home and have some money to pay off her student loans.
So let's talk, you guys, which is, you came here and you had a question that you wanted to ask me. And the question was, should you sell this house that has about $140,000 of equity in it so that you could get rid of all the student loans so that you could then, just be scot-free and you could start all over again? Or do you sell the house and take some of that money and open up a new business for you, Will, so that you can start your own company? And that was the main question you wanted me to answer for you, correct?
Yes.
Yes, all right. So let me just start there. I do not want you to sell the house on any level. Selling the house is not the answer to this problem. It allows you, Will, to continue to live in La La Land. It allows you to be able to not really do what you have got to do. The real problem here is you, Will. It's you, sir. Because for a year and a half, you haven't had a job. And you are waiting, according to your notes, your dream is that your father reopen the business so that you can go back to work for him. You're afraid to go to work for anybody else. So if you think I'm going to allow you to sell your house when it is the only money that you have, simply so that you don't have to face your fear anymore, Will, you couldn't be more wrong if you tried. Do you feel that you postponed this just because you are so afraid to go out there? Is that why you waited an entire year and a half to do it?
Honestly, the reason that I waited was because last year, my father's company, we did win 5 public bids that we were supposed to go back to work, and we kept thinking we were going back to work, and it was just a mess of what happened.
He's really devoted to helping his dad, but right now, getting his dad's company back on track and hoping that does happen, and we all hope that does happen for them. But meanwhile, we've talked about that we have to do what we have to do for us right now, so actually, just yesterday, he had an interview and things went well, and so that possibility is coming into the near future, so that's really something that's hopeful for us.
So
but
Will,
I know it's
Will, this is something that you have to do. You don't have a choice, sweetheart. You don't have a choice anymore. I mean, you guys, you're 31 years of age. You have 2 children. The 2 of you do not have health insurance. The 2 of you have no life insurance on yourselves at all. So right after this, I need you Monday morning to get life insurance. I need you to do all kinds of things to make sure that your kids are okay, number one. But Jessica, you work 20 hours a week. Now, I understand that the reason you only work per diem is because you make more money per hour working per diem than you would working full-time.
I could have taken the full-time job it would be $30 an hour. And to make $46 an hour, obviously it makes more sense because I'm a lot of times I'm picking up
I get all that.
full-time hours.
Yeah.
So when we worked it out on paper, it was better for us to pay out of pocket for our health insurance than for me to take the job.
Then why didn't you? And
we
then
did.
You dropped it.
But we stopped because we couldn't afford to.
Yep.
It was another $800 a month.
Yeah,
and that was just for us
$800. But here's the thing I'm saying to the 2 of you. You can't stop something that is a need. You need health insurance. You know you need health insurance because
Susie.
You are a nurse. You have a husband that works in an area, but you stopped it because there wasn't the money to do it. So if there isn't the money to do it and you aren't managing your money correctly at a per diem scale, then you would be far better off cutting down, believe it or not, having somebody else manage your money for you, like a full-time place of employment, and at least be covered with insurance. So here's the bottom line. I need you both, first thing Monday morning, to call up a quoting service and get a quote for $1 million of 20-year level term. At your ages, it might cost you $25 to $50 a month each. You have got to get that in place first thing Monday morning. You have got to get your insurance, your health insurance in place. You cannot be funding your child's college educations, their 529 plans to $3,500 when you in fact don't have any money to live on and protect them. I need the two of you to really grow up and be honest with each other. It's not just Will being afraid to get a job. He's starting out to come out, and to do that, Will, you've got to land a job. And Jessica, I need you to work full time. I don't care if it's per diem, but if you aren't working full time at all for that hospital, you need to get a full-time job that covers you. The cost of this isn't that the two of you argue. That's not the cost of this. The cost of this is the safety of your two children. The safety of your two children. So if you can't do it for yourselves, I am begging you to do it for the 1-year-old and the 5-year-old. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
All right? So that's
Yes.
a yeah. So Monday, you're going to do exactly what I've asked you to do, and you are not going to yell at each other or argue over money anymore. You are just going to solve these problems, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Susie.
All right,
Thank you.
sweetheart, that's called the Susie Smackdown out of love and protection, not only for the two of you, but mainly for your kids. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I want to spend $20,000 on pavers for a new driveway that leads to my back patio.
So how are you going to pay for this?
I want to do a home equity loan.
Also,
We just bought a home 2 months ago, and we spent a great deal of time setting up. We just want to get away for a few days.
I'm seeing $1,000 of credit card debt. I'm seeing student loan debt. What do you think I'm going to say to you?
I think you're going to deny me.
What do you want to buy?
Pavers for a new driveway.
7-day cruise to the Caribbean.
Diesel pusher RV.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is you want to buy. I ask you a few questions. And, I will tell you if you can afford it or not. Let's go. Kate, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to spend $20,000 on pavers for a new driveway that leads to my back patio.
Yeah.
My current driveway, it's black asphalt, and it has 2 inches cracks everywhere, so I need to do something. The driveway cuts across the back of my yard and my house, so I wanted to upgrade it in a large section to make it with those beautiful stone pavers. And the pavers cost more. They cost like 3 to 4 times more than black asphalt per square foot.
Yeah.
And I'm hosting my brother's wedding reception in September of this year, and I thought it would be a really nice way to make that environment just more beautiful.
Maybe that's what you should have called in. You should have called in to say, Susie, can I afford to host my brother's wedding reception? But anyway, girlfriend, show me your money.
Okay. Well, my take home is about $7,500, and my expenses are $72.73.
So you're right up there. Yep.
Yep. I have $254,000 remaining on my 15-year fixed-rate mortgage.
Yep.
And I own a vacation home. In savings, I have $11,000 liquid. I have $50,000 in investments, $375,000 in my retirement plan, and I have $11,000 in my 529, my daughter's education fund, and I continue to put money into that monthly.
Great. And I think it's funny because, Kate, you said I have $375,000 in my retirement plan because you are proud of that figure. It was
I am.
You are, but girlfriend, you are 47 years of age. 47. So how are you going to pay for this?
I want to do a home equity loan in order to pay for this.
So you want to take equity that you have in your house out, which now increases your monthly amount that you have to pay every single month. And you only have $200 a month excess right now. So we're going to take out a home equity loan or a home equity line. If you do a line, it will be variable. A loan, there will be cost to do so. So let me just make it easy for you. You are so denied. And you are denied mainly because you have $11,000 in an emergency fund fund, and you need approximately at least $58,000 in case something goes wrong, and you're caring about the appearance of your house for your brother's wedding for a one-time day event when you don't have enough money in your retirement account, in your emergency fund, Catherine, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Suze. My boyfriend and I would like to take a 7-day cruise to the Caribbean. We just bought a home 2 months ago, and we spent a great deal of time setting up. We just want to get away for a few days. The cost is $3,144.
That's funny. That's very funny, my dear Catherine. Most people say, Susie, I just worked my whole life and I need to get away. Or Susie, I just went to school and I worked so hard. You're telling me you just bought a new house, and so therefore a month ago you need a vacation from having just set up a new house. All right, show me the money.
Our take home is $4,700 combined.
Yep.
Our expenses are $3,499.
Yep.
For debt, we have $202,000 on a 30-year fixed mortgage, $12,000 in student loans, $1,000 in credit card debt at 0%. In savings, we have $45,000 in liquid, $1,300 in investments, and $14,000 in retirement.
And just out of curiosity, how are you going to pay for this?
We're going to take it out of our liquid.
You are, all right. So that then will take us down to about $41,000 in liquid. What do you think I'm going to say to you? Just what's your, I'm seeing $1,000 of credit card debt. I'm seeing student loan debt. What do you think I'm going to say to you?
I think you're going to deny me.
All right, you want to say it for me? You are, say
Denied.
it. Wrong, you are approved.
I'm approved?
And let me tell you why you're approved.
Yeah.
I want you to take the money out of your liquid, and if you pay off your credit card debt, you pay off your student loan, and you go on this voyage, you will still have $28,000 in your emergency fund, which is still $3,000 more than you need for your 8-month emergency. So, girlfriend, go ahead and do it. June, what do you want to buy?
Hey, Susie, I just want to say thanks a lot for the opportunity. What I'd really like to buy is this health club. This health club in the city, I was shopping and I walked in and it's like paradise. Unfortunately, the membership fees and the parking fees are a little pricey. So I don't know if I can afford it, but I thought I'd reach out to you and see what your take is.
And I just have to ask you before I ask about everything else, because it's $185 a month membership.
Yes.
Is that a month? $185 a month?
Yes.
A month. Do you exercise now?
Yes, I do. I've belonged to a gym since 1997, and
has it been? How's that been working out for you? How much is that costing you?
Only $70. But
70. All right, so this
$70.
would be $100 more a month, or was that 70 a year?
It was $70 a month.
A month. Show me the money, sweetheart.
Currently, my take-home is $4,500 a month.
Yep.
My expenses are $4,109 a month.
Yep.
My only debt is $77,000 on a 15-year mortgage. I hope to pay that off in about 5 years.
Yep.
And I have $33,000 in savings, also called liquid.
Yep.
I have $19,000 in investments and $748,000 in retirement.
So you just want to take $100 extra per month from what you're currently paying now to do this new gym. Do you really think you'll like it as much as the gym you've been going to the whole time?
Well, you know, looking at my statement, my parking's $5 a pop, and looking at my last month, it could be about $50 extra, so maybe it's $150.
$150 extra. I got news for you, girlfriend. You are denied. And the reason you're denied is you're just cutting it too close for me. It's like we don't have a whole lot liquid. You're 55 years of age. You're going to be taking retirement soon. Even $800,000 in a retirement account isn't going to generate enough income. I mean, you could do it if you want to, but just stay where you are. An extra $150 a month to get skinnier? I don't think so. Darlene, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Well, we want to purchase a 2015 diesel pusher RV for about $200,000.
Look at that. $200,000. That's a lot. It's a diesel pusher. It's sure pushing a lot of diesel at $200,000. Darlene, that is more money than some people spend on a home. Why do you want to buy it?
Well, it is going to be our second home. We love to travel, and we hope to retire to it down the road here in the next 10 years.
So you're buying it now, and in your thought, you want to pay for it now so that when you retire in 10 years, you'll own it outright? And then,
correct.
All right, so you're gonna, if you buy this, are you gonna finance? Well, I'll get to that in a second because I'm jumping the gun here because I'm looking at $200,000. I haven't seen six figures being asked for a long time on the Can I Afford It segment. So show me the money, girlfriend.
Okay. Well, our income is $15,900 a month, and that does include our rental income.
Okay.
Our expenses are about $14,033 a month, and that includes $1,600 we pay for rent. Our debt currently is $865 for our mortgage, and that's a 10-year ARM. And we also have a $50,000 loan on our current RV.
Wait, before you go on. So you have an RV now that you could be living in and doing all your traveling in?
Well, not necessarily. It's a smaller rig, and we travel with the kids, and it doesn't really have all the amenities to retire to.
I got it. Okay, go on.
Okay, so in our savings, we have about $89,000 liquid and $57,000 in a retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
Well, what I'd like to do is sell our current RV, and we think we will net about $10,000 from the sale of it. I'm going to take about $20,000 from our checking and $20,000 from our savings, leaving a balance of about $150,000 to finance for 15 to 20 years at 3.99%.
So 15
with the intent to pay it in 10 to 12 years.
But with the intent to pay it by, and how are you going to do that? Are you going to sell your home? Are you going to do something like that?
No, we're currently working, and I'm just going to put every extra penny into it to pay it off.
Right.
And down the road, we may sell our home.
I got it then. All right, so here's the question for everybody. Will I approve or deny? My final verdict for Darlene is coming up later in the show. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? All you have to do is go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you'll find the information you need to know there to come and play with me right here. And if we choose you to be on the Can I Afford It segment, Robo-Man, I think I did it right this time. Do you see this is V-neck? Anyway, denied or approved, whatever I decide my verdict is for you, this is the shirt that you will get. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Suze.
So I'm wondering if I should take out an extra $5,000 each year and put it into a Roth IRA.
That's a horrific idea. And later, it's Suze 911, help for your money emergency.
I refinanced the house that she lives in, so everything's in my name. And I just found out she hasn't paid the mortgage in over 11 months.
And how did you think you were going to be making those payments? Did you have the money?
I had no idea.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are in PCR 3 at CNBC headquarters. Do you know what PCR 3 stands for? I am learning as we go on. Production Control Room 3. Anyway, so many ways for you to be part of the Suze Orman Show. Please take a look at your screen. You can send in an email, join me on Facebook, or if you send in a tweet and put hashtag Ask Suze, it comes to us right here, and if we choose it, your tweet will be on the air. Let's see what's trending right now. We have from @Ashley Kundle. Is it better to pay debt off from high to low interest rate or from low to high balance? Listen, Ashley, there's so many people who have different opinions on this. Some people say pay it off from low to high, and every time you pay it off, you will feel better. So that's how you should do it in terms of the balance. I say forget about that. It should be from high interest rate to the lowest interest rate. If something's costing you a lot of money to have it, you would feel better getting rid of that higher interest rate debt than getting rid of these little balances, if you ask me. So again, from high interest rate to low interest rate is the Suze Orman way. All right, everybody, let's go to the Suze webcam. We are going to Carolyn in South Carolina. Girlfriend, ask me your question.
Hi, Susie. I'm 28. I'm married. I'll be entering dental school in a few short months, and I'll be taking out federal loans for the educational expenses. But I can also take out about $25,000 a year for the living expenses. However, I only need maybe $12,000 of that for the living expenses. So I'm wondering if I should take out an extra $5,000 each year and put it into a Roth IRA. I want to take advantage of the compounding interest.
Are you working? Let me ask you, are you working while you're going to school?
No, I will not be able to work while going to school.
All right, so girlfriend, you got to know the laws, because first of all, you have to have earned income to put money into a Roth IRA. You just can't put money into a Roth IRA if you're not working. So if you only made $2,000 a year, that would be the most that you could put into a Roth IRA. If you made $10,000 more, you could put $5,500 in. Do you see what I mean? But you have to be working, number one. But number two, that's a horrific idea. Have you not heard me say on the Suze Orman Show that student loans in most cases are not dischargeable in bankruptcy? So you put it into a Roth IRA. Are you making as much return on it as it's costing you to have that loan guaranteed? Number one, no. You don't want to get yourself into student loan debt for money that you don't absolutely need. Do you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. And by the way, I just have to ask, when you watch the Suze Orman Show, don't you just love my teeth?
Yes,
yeah,
they look fabulous.
That's a good dental student. Okay, sweetheart, let's go back to the studio, and here's what's coming up next. Need help right now? It's Susie 911. You volunteered to take this on knowing that she couldn't afford it, and neither could you, and you had no idea, but yet you were going to do it anyway. Do I have that right?
Totally right.
And later, my final verdict for Darlene. Wait, do I have this right? Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. It's time for Suze 911, where help for your money emergency is just a phone call away. Let's activate the call wall categories and find out what my next caller needs immediate help with. Family and finances caller, what is your name and what is your money emergency?
Hi, Susie. It's Tasha from New York, and I have a money emergency involving my mother. I refinanced the house that she lives in, so everything's in my name. And I just found out she hasn't paid the mortgage in over 11 months. I live in an apartment with my husband and my daughter, and she lives in the house. And we don't know what to do because she doesn't want to move, and she doesn't want to rent anything. So now we're just kind of in limbo.
When you refinanced this home for her, what was the understanding that the two of you had?
That she was going to pay the mortgage.
And did you ever, you're laughing at that, is that because when you refinanced this that you knew at that time she didn't have the money to refinance, to be able to pay the mortgage when you refinanced it?
I knew that it was probably going to end up here at some point in time, but she wasn't trying to hear me when I was telling her that.
All right, but even though she wasn't willing to hear you say that, you already knew it. So
yeah,
if you knew that you were going to have to make these payments for her, why are you not willing to make these payments at this point in time?
As in, like, take her money and make the payments? Or
no,
take my,
as in
like,
take your own money and make the payments. Like if you said to me, you just said to me, Tosh, that
right.
you knew that at some point in time she would not be able to make the payments.
You're right.
That meant, since the loan was in your name, that you knew you would have to make the payments, correct?
Correct.
And how did you think you were going to be making those payments? Did you have the money?
I had no idea. No, not
no
at
idea.
all.
So you both took actions that made absolutely no financial sense whatsoever. Not just your mother, but you, Tosh, took this on. You volunteered to take this on, knowing that she couldn't afford it and neither could you, and you had no idea, but yet you were going to do it anyway. Do I have that right?
Totally right.
So, Tasha, here is what you need to do to solve this emergency. You need to have a talk with your mother, and you need to tell her this is very, very serious, that it's out of your hands now, because I'm assuming you don't have money to catch up for the 11 months rent. So either she puts the house on the market for sale, she moves in with you, because where else is she going to go? She's going to move in with you. You're all going to live together in your apartment. And she's going to have to deal with this because even if she takes a roommate, where are you going to get the 11 months of back payments? You don't have them. So the only thing you can do to solve this emergency is to deal with it honestly. Sell the house. Mom moves in with you. Make room for her because she's a comin', and deal with it from there. Other than that, if she refuses to listen, she will come home and there will be a padlock on her door one day. And if you have a money emergency and need my help, just go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and hit Susie 911. My final verdict for Darlene is next. Darlene, any last words before my final verdict? Welcome back to the Can I Afford It? Final Verdict. Earlier tonight, Darlene asked me if she could afford to spend $200,000 on an RV diesel pusher that she and her husband plan to drive into the retirement sunset.
It is going to be our second home. We love to travel, and we hope to retire to it down the road here in the next 10 years.
Are you there, Darlene?
I'm here.
All right. Let's remind everyone about your money. Your income is $15,900 a month. Your expenses are $14,033 a month. Your debt is an $865,000 mortgage and a $50,000 RV loan. In savings, you have $89,000 liquid and $57,000 in retirement. And you want to pay for this using $50,000 of your savings, $10,000 net proceeds from the trade-in, and then finance the rest. Darlene, any last words before my final verdict?
No, I think you got it all there.
All right. Well, you're not going to be using this really for 10 years. You're doing this for 10 years from now, but you want to start paying for it and have a great time right now when you're still young and everything is going right. So this one's very simple for me. You could not be more denied if I tried. So denied, it's not even funny. Like when I was looking at these numbers last night, I sent an email to my producer saying, wait, do I have this right? That this woman is 50 years of age, she has $89,000 in a money market account or in savings, and she's going to use a lot of it, $29,000 of it, that's for your business checking account, that you have a few $1,000s really in retirement and you're 50 years of age, and none of it makes sense. You're going to have $800 to $900 a month more in payments. Girlfriend, you can no more afford this $200,000 diesel pusher than you could even a little tiny car at this point. Do not do it, do not do it, do not do it. I'll say it once again, denied. Oh, so denied. But I don't want to deny all of you. I want to approve you to learn about money, to know what you should be buying, to know what you shouldn't be buying, and to know when to invest, what not to invest, to know everything you need to know. And that's what we do here every single week on the Suze Orman Show. So until next week, there's really only one thing that I want you to remember about your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.